I once again forgot to record the sketch, but I'm going to walk you through it. I did a quick color blob sketch of some outlines of a cliff on a beach with a little guy holding a lantern, and then I went in with white and added the moon and then some splashing on the rocks with foam of the ocean. And I went on top of that crappy, boring sketch and drew this little skeleton in a cloak holding the lantern in grayscale, because I need to practice with values more, so I did it in grayscale first. On top of that, I added lighting, the lighting effects from the candle and the lantern, and then from the moon and the waves. And I did another one on top of that just to add more. I'm not really caring, this is just a sketch. I'm just doing it lazily just to get the idea down. Now I'm doing shading. Shading really adds a lot, especially if you do your lighting first. Doing more shading, it really adds a lot to the drawing, as you can see here. I'm just adding more here and there in places that I forgot. Even more highlights. I'm not going to be using this sketch in the final drawing. I'm just using this picture to practice drawing a skull and get the shapes down. And so I have a reference later when I actually draw the skull for myself. So this isn't going to be in the final drawing. This is just practice. Same thing here, I'm just practicing drawing the sternum and the ribs. I'm not going to use this in the final drawing, this is just practice, and so I have a reference. Here I'm just getting an idea of where I want to place it. And I put my skull drawing that I traced onto the side, and I'm using it as a reference to get the facial proportions down as I trace over the drawing I did for the sketch. And I think it looks way more personalized and unique and has more style to it than just a straight skull. And it's more in the style of the 80s metal albums, and that's what I'm trying to go for. It has more personality and soul to it. And here I'm just outlining the lantern, and I was struggling finding a shape, but I eventually got it. I wanted this square glass shape, and I was kind of basing it off of a oil lantern. And I'm totally not cheating here. And here's the little wheel to lower and raise the width. And here is the handle. Now on to coloring the background. This was too saturated for me in the end, and I darkened it a little bit, but it's still dark purple. Now on to lighting from the moon onto the water. And now on to the cliffside and the rocks. Now I'm coloring my little character here. Now on to shading. I put a dark blue overlay layer on top of this to just give the shadows more depth. I didn't record doing shading and lighting on the background, but here it is. You can really see the difference an overlay layer makes. And here is the finished piece. You can see I turned the saturation down a little bit, but I really like it. I don't know why it's so blurry and grainy here. It's super clear in my photos, but for some reason when I uploaded it here, the quality just tanked. But hopefully you enjoyed seeing this speed paint, and if you want to see more speed paints in the future, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.